Congratulations! You've made it through the first 3 videos of this repair series on an Atlantic 300 from 1946. And if you've been careful to observe the explanations given, you should by this point probably have the tools you need to remove the shell, service the reverse unit, as well as tune up the motor. Now, this video and the one after this are going to follow up on some of those things in a little bit more detail. And before I get into that, I wanted to offer one other thing. I know for some people the idea of digging into something like this is a little bit daunting, a little bit overwhelming. Even though you've seen some hands-on methods to doing this repair, you may not be comfortable with it. And I just want to say it's okay. If you find yourself still not confident that you want to tackle something like this, there are people that do repairs on Flyer. I happen to be one of them, and there are many others out there. So if you get to this stage and you're like, yeah, I'm not interested, that's something I'm not comfortable with, that's okay. There's lots of us out here that can help you. But for those of you that want to keep going, this next video is going to focus in on a little bit of the reassembly of your steam engine after you've done those repairs, specifically a little bit of additional lubrication and some cleaning that I think is probably a good idea. And just bear in mind, we're not after restoration of the engine to brand new status. We're more of a sympathetic restoration in terms of the appearance, but on the mechanical side, we certainly want to do everything we can to allow for good operation. That and more today on Austin's American Flyer. Okay, now time to reassemble some gear, some side rods here. One thing I want to do is add a little bit of light grease. Okay, so when it's time to reassemble the engine, you just want to reverse the process that you used to take it apart. Now I'm going to go a little bit out of sequence because I'm not going to put trailing truck on first. I think it's going to be a little easier to see what's going on, but you want to feed your jack panel in and make sure your wires are out of the way. You have to have the headlight in. Then you want to make sure to get your reverse unit lever through the engine shell. Moved it more towards the neutral position or middle of the sequence. Alright. Then once you've got those things in, everything else should line up. Now I'm noticing it's like something is not. I guess it is down all the way. Okay. Good. Now our washers are still where we left them, so that's good. Loosened up the first screw so I can get the second one started before I tighten them both down. I should have done that to start with. Okay. Now, getting close to putting the front truck on, but first we want to do the steam chest or cylinders. Then you want to make sure your side rods are on correctly, and you can feed those in, get those started. You want to be careful not to force the side rod valve gear stuff. Just keep gently checking out if there's any resistance. You know, something's just a little bit off, and be patient, and then it'll go together. Now, before I go further, what I want to do is put a little bit of lightweight grease on the bottom side of this crosshead slide. Just a little bit hard to get in there. I only want to put a tiny bit. Okay. Next is front section. Cow catcher and front trucks. Okay, now sometimes this can be a bit tricky. For example, in the course of time, I've gotten these flip-flopped. So let's put the right one on the right side. That piece obviously should be pushing or heading downward. Okay, now it's time to put some valve gear back in place. And one thing that I like to do after I've put valve gear on, even a simple operation like this, because there's not really a way to get it wrong. Well, I suppose there is, but is I will rotate the motor manually, just using my hand, spinning the armature, just to feel if there's any places where things bind up. This is a good idea to do before you put power to the motor, because Well, I hope you found this video helpful on some of the fine-tuning that is important to do on your steam engine from Gilbert American Flyer. And as always, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any comments or feedback, please leave those below. And until next time, enjoy your trains. God bless. We'll see you. Bye-bye.